in the first 5 minutes of OU Nightly, a breakdown of all the severe weather that happened over the weekend.
A closer look at the ballot before you head to polls tomorrow, and an inside look at the runoff election candidates. This is OU Nightly. You are taking a live look right now at OU's campus. Thanks for joining us tonight on OU Nightly. I'm Bryn Mead.
And I'm Lyndon Potter. Sunny skies for today, but that wasn't the case over the weekend. We're going to turn to Campus Weather Authority and OU Nightly meteorologist McKinley Potter for a breakdown of what happened.
Yeah, guys, Friday was an extremely active weather day across the state of Oklahoma, but specifically for the metro, we saw all hazard wind, hail, tornadoes, and flooding. This is actually on campus near Constitution and Jenkins, right by Reeves Park. We could see that flooded roadways. We also saw a pretty impressive lightning storm. This was taken on top of the stadium parking garage by one of our viewers, Brody, and it was a very impressive storm indeed. Now, we did get reports of multiple tornado touchdowns across the state, including the metro. We have an EF0 out here, EF1, another one. This one here is the one that impacted the most. This hit the Oklahoma Community College campus and sustained some pretty significant damage. Now we are getting reports that they have gone virtual until further notice, so we're definitely going to keep an eye on that. Now for your weather headlines, we're going to talk more about that rainfall recap and a storming pattern ahead.
Tomorrow is election day in Norman, and the city is having elections for Ward 5's council seat and 5 propositions that the city council approved. We broke down the 5 propositions on the ballot and how they will affect you. 5 propositions are on tomorrow's ballot for the city of Norman. All 5 will be up to a yes or no vote from Norman residents. Proposition 1 is a streets bond renewal. $35 million will be split up to fix roads in need of repair. The money is divided for different fixes, ranging from rural road improvements to replacing roads around campus.
So we take this money and we reinvest it back into the community so that we can make our community nice. It's good for our visitors, it's good for the university, it's good for our residents. And again, it's a way that we can really touch a lot of those neighborhood or smaller streets that typically don't get much work done on them.
If passed, this will include an $8 million increase from the 2021 street maintenance bond. Now, this is not a new tax, but an $8 million increase is due to an increase in property values. The second proposition is to increase the guest tax. The guest tax in Norman is currently an 8% tax on non-residents using hotels, Airbnbs, and other overnight stay services. The proposition is to increase the guest tax from 8 to 10% and to include RV parks.
It's my favorite kind of money, other people's money. So it comes in, it helps support our quality of lives as resident. It goes to the arts parks and of course Visit Norman to market Norman.
And even though Norman residents would not pay the tax, they will see the benefits.
Get more dollars to market Norman to visitors and to bring in sports tournaments and to do more festivals and those types of things that bring in visitors.
Propositions 3 and 4 are city charter changes. Proposition 3 would change when city council members and the mayor start their terms, moving it from the first Tuesday in July to the first Tuesday following runoff elections. Proposition 4 would change the requirements for the city auditor position. By allowing alternate certifications for applicants, Norman can try and fill the vacant city auditor position, which has been open since October. The final proposition is to use property tax to fund an $8 million homeless shelter. If approved, property taxes on a home valued at $100,000 would only increase around $3 annually. The facility would be on Reed Avenue, near Main and Alameda Street. The facility would include dorms, family units, a laundry room, dog kennels, and could shelter 120 people.
I would implore people, if you want to vote against the shelter because you just disagree with the whole idea of it, if it's something you just don't support and you don't think we should do, then don't vote for it. But voting no because you're upset about the turnpike or you're upset about the arena, I just don't think is a good thing, and it would be punishing people, like I said, who are sleeping in that shelter right now.
Polls will be open tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And continuing our election coverage, Jack Hancock has the Ward 5 council race that is also on the ballot. Jack?
Yeah, Lyndon, in addition to those propositions, like you said, Ward 5 could put a new city council member into the seat in the City Hall chambers behind me. Trey Kirby and Diana Hutzel facing off in a runoff election. Hutzel has nearly 4 decades of responsibility and experience working at Tinker Air Force Base and advocates for fiscal responsibility now. Kirby, a rancher who's a small business owner and advocates for the environment in Ward 5. Both of these candidates have strong opinions surrounding Proposition 5 and that homeless shelter. Trey Kirby says that homelessness is a big issue facing the city of Norman, and he supports the permanent shelter, while Diana Hutzel says that homelessness is a big issue and something needs to be done to support the homeless. However, she feels that this proposed bond initiative for the shelter would be too costly for the city and is not a smart decision because of the city's financial situation. Again, polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow, and residents can find the nearest poll to them on the OK Voter portal. From City Hall, Jack Hancock, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Jack. And again, to find your polling location, you can also visit the Cleveland County Election Board website.
And the president tells Iran its time is ticking and 2 U.S. service members have been rescued. Abigail Nickel has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center. Abigail.
President Trump is defending his threat to target Iranian infrastructure if key shipping routes are not reopened. Today, the president said Iranians want the U.S. to continue its bombing campaign, even if it means they will suffer.
And these are people that are living where the bombs are exploding. And when we leave and we're not hitting those areas, they're saying, please come back, come back, come back.
The president has given Iran till tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, or he says the U.S. will start bombing those sites. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says attacks on Iran will be relentless.
Today will be the largest volume of strikes since day one of this operation. Tomorrow, even more than today. And then Iran has a choice.
The president also announced today that a U.S. service member whose fighter jet was shot down over Iran has been rescued. Another crew member was found shortly before and has received medical attention. And in a post on X, the president claims this is the first time in military memory that 2 U.S. pilots have been rescued separately in enemy territory. This was also the first time a manned U.S. aircraft was shot down over the Iran during the conflict. Bryn Linden, back to you.
Thanks, Abigail. Changes are coming for childcare in Oklahoma.
We'll tell you how providers and parents will be affected.
And Easter may have been yesterday, but it's affecting wallets today.
We'll have just how much consumers spent on the holiday up next.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
No, no, no. Turn it down. Turn it off. Get a hand. Lose the bells and whistles. Drive without distractions.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
New funding changes to child care subsidies could have a major impact on Oklahoma families. Leah Smith is live with us. Leah, what can families expect?
Bryn, Lyndon, Oklahoma child care providers are taking a hit today as funding will take a cut. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Oklahoma Human Services invested nearly $1.4 billion into the state's child care systems, but 6 years later, that funding is running out. The Licensed Child Care Association of Oklahoma says daycare providers will lose about $5 per child per day. Now, as standard operating costs are rising at the same time, providers must adapt to these new costs. Some advocates for safe and affordable childcare believe families will be the ones to pay this price.
We'll even have more families that either won't be able to afford care at all, which means kids and babies are going to end up in unlicensed, unregulated care.
Dot expects these daycares to raise their prices in order to stay open, but she believes many families will not be able to afford these prices. Reporting live from the state capitol, Leah Smith, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Leah. State child care subsidies will revert to pre-pandemic levels starting July 1st.
Big money was spent over Easter weekend. Megan Howarth has that and more in today's Money Matters.
Easter spending expected to hop to new records over the weekend. From Easter eggs to chocolate bunnies, the National Retail Federation says consumers were expected to spend $24.9 billion on the holiday. The average spending per person was predicted at just under $196. The previous record was $24 billion in 2023. The U.S. economy added more jobs in March. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, 178,000 jobs were added. That's more than the 60,000 new jobs economists predicted. This follows a loss of 133,000 jobs in February. April 15th is the last day to file taxes, and the IRS say the average tax refund is up by more than 10% this tax season. According to the IRS, the average tax refund amount is just under $3,600. Over 98% of filers used direct deposit, and more than 80% got their refunds within 21 days. And Super Mario Galaxy made $131 million this weekend after opening Wednesday. Bryn, Lyndon.
Thanks, Megan. And a street no students want to drive down, but unfortunately have to.
We'll have the answers about the Jenkins Street construction up next.
And we have a lot more to talk about when it comes to the weather. I'll have all the details and your full forecast coming up.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, turn off the water while you brush your teeth. You'll save about 4 gallons per minute. That comes out to about 200 gallons a week for a family of 4. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman. Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, if your shower can fill a 1-gallon bucket in less than 20 seconds, replace the shower head with a water-efficient one. They are cheap, easy to install, and can save you up to 750 gallons a month. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
Well, welcome back to OU Nightly, and thank you for joining us here on this Monday. Now, we have a lot to unpack weather-wise, so grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's get to it. Starting with our rainfall totals, Norman saw 3 inches of rain just over the weekend and specifically Friday with that severe weather event that we saw, but it's very similar situation across the state. Almost 3 inches in McAllister, over 1 inch in Tulsa, so the state saw a good amount of rain. Now, this is very good for the drought, so we're going to see how that affects when the drought monitor comes out on Thursdays. But currently looking across the metro, it is a beautiful day. We're seeing 72 in Oklahoma City, 72 in Norman. And if we zoom out statewide, this is also reflected across the state. Out in Guyman, they're in those upper 70s. So it's a great, beautiful day. The sun is shining. I know I've been enjoying that sunshine myself. Now, talking about the weather again, we're going to see those wind gusts out in Guyman. We're talking 45-mile-per-hour wind gusts. In Norman, we're pretty chill right now. Nothing super duper crazy. Now, with those wind gusts and the amount of rain that we saw, specifically not out west, this is going to impact our fire risk. This is Wednesday, so out west they're going to be seeing an elevated fire risk. We're going to keep monitoring this just to see if that line pushes closer to the metro, but for right now it's mainly isolated out west. Now your hour-by-hour forecast, again, beautiful sunshine. We're going to drop into those 60s and even the 50s as you head out into the evening. So if you do have some plans outside, maybe bring a light jacket for those evening plans. Now, what we're really going to talk about is our next severe weather threat. This is for Saturday. We can see that kind of isolated out for that slight risk into the Texas Panhandle, but moving into Sunday, we kind of see that pushing into the Norman area. Now, this is really important. This is still 6 to 7 days out, so this will change, and I hope you stay tuned to OU Nightly to keep tracking that. Again, tonight, we're going to lower into those 40s, which seems kind of cold because we have been spoiled recently with those warmer evening temperatures. Now, for your Tuesday's highs, we're going to see 70s across the metro, 71 in Oklahoma City, 70 in Norman. We might see some high 60s out west, but it's going to be a great day. This whole week is going to be a great week. Beautiful sunshine until we start seeing those rain chances return as we head into the weekend. Now, allergies, we're going to talk about yet again. Grasses on those medium levels, weeds and mold are on those lower levels. Trees, specifically those oak trees, are on those higher levels. So definitely keep those tissues out as allergies will be impacting us as we progress into the week. Now for your 7-day forecast, again, we're going to see those beautiful temperatures and tracking those severe storms as we head into Saturday and Sunday. But guys, it is a beautiful week so far until that weekend, but I know I've been getting my patio ready. I actually went to the store and grabbed some wasp spray and sprayed all the wasps off my patio just to enjoy the sunshine for a little bit. I love to watch a good storm, but I'm definitely going to be soaking up this sunshine.
Well, speaking of storms, you mentioned the possibility of severe storm this weekend. As of now, how will that look compared to the ones we just had over the weekend?
So these are still, again, a couple days out, so we are going to be monitoring that. It's a little bit hard to nail down details specifically, but it's definitely going to be a severe weather day. So when the Storm Prediction Center issues these outlooks pretty far out in advance, they're pretty confident that it's going to be a significant severe weather day. So OU Nightly is going to keep you detailed with all those facts.
I'm just glad that right now I feel a lot safer to go on the roads than when I did this weekend for the whole Oklahoma monsoon weather.
Yeah, for sure.
But Norman drivers should be aware as a major on-campus construction project continues. Starting today, traffic on Jenkins Avenue will shift with two-way traffic moving east from the current lanes. Drivers are encouraged to plan ahead and allow some extra time for travel throughout the construction area. This marks the completion of phase 2 out of 8 of the widening project. It's expected to be completed by next spring.
And coming up after the break, we'll have updates on both gymnastic teams and how they did in the postseason.
Plus, the final member of a Sooner legacy is making her own path.
The roller coaster of a season for OU men's basketball came to a fitting end last night, and they're already making changes for next year. Find out who's joining Potter Moore's program up next in sports.
Winter is upon us, and every Oklahoman knows that that means unpredictable freezing temperatures. One of the main concerns with freezing temperatures is the damage they can cause to your home or business should they cause your water pipes to freeze over. Older homes, especially those without proper insulation or that have basements or crawl spaces with exposed pipes, are particularly susceptible to this. Here is Rachel Croft, City of Norman Water Treatment Plant Manager, to show you the proper steps you can take to prevent your pipes from freezing.
The good news is you don't need to run a whole lot of water in order to combat freezing from your pipes. Here's how you do it. Another thing that you can do to help is to open your cabinet doors to make sure that warm air throughout your home is getting to your faucet pipes. But you want to make sure to remove any harmful chemicals that any small children or pets could have the ability to reach.
Following these steps can help save money on your water bill and help to conserve Norman's water supply.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Time for sports. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was named the Western Conference Player of the Week after leading the Thunder to 3 wins, averaging over 31 points. OU Nightly's Hunter Cornejo has the story.
Oklahoma City cruised to win number 62 on Easter Sunday as they blew out the Utah Jazz 146-111. 146 is their highest offensive score of the season, and the magic number is now 2. 2 wins for the Thunder or 2 losses for the San Antonio Spurs in these final 4 games, and OKC would clinch home court advantage in the playoffs. But it's nights like tonight offensively where just about everything went right, and that's exactly what you want as you prepare for a postseason run.
We ran our stuff really hard and really well, so that was encouraging. We got to a lot of different things tonight. And ripped through some stuff and took a look at a couple different things, and then our focus never wavered on the offensive end through that. And like I said, once we got the advantages, we moved the ball ahead of them really well. I thought for the most part we played really well.
When you get up by that much, it's easy to just start trying to hunt your own, and we know that in order to keep those habits that we're going to need for however long we want to do this playoff run, we got to be able to build those regardless of who we're playing, and we did a good job of that.
You know, health is wealth in this league. But it's an amazing luxury to have so much talent all the way down the roster.
Next up, Oklahoma City heads to Los Angeles for a back-to-back against the Lakers and the Clippers. It's going to be their second meeting in the last week against the Los Angeles Lakers. And this time, though, star guard Luka Doncic and former Sooner Austin Reeves are going to be out. Reporting from the Paycom Center, Hunter Cornejo, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Hunter. OU men's basketball faced West Virginia in a slobber knocker Sunday for the college basketball crown. Tay Davis hit a layup, putting the game into overtime, but the Mountaineers scored 13 unanswered points to claim the throne 89-82 over OU.
Yeah, I thought both teams battled their tails off. A lot of big plays, both sides. A lot of guys not wanting to end their career. A lot of guys, I know there's the monetary part of it, but there was a lot of guys that didn't want their career to end tonight.
Oklahoma men's basketball just announced the hiring of Lucas McKay as their general manager. McKay served the same position for Clemson men's basketball last year, as well as director of recruiting for the past 5 seasons. Zaya Vann announced Saturday that she plans to leave OU entering the transfer portal. The sophomore guard leaves Oklahoma after averaging 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists per game this past season. Vann's older sister and father both played at OU. Oklahoma women's gymnastics won their 16th straight regional title Sunday to advance to their 22nd straight appearance in the NCAA championships that begin April 16th. The Sooners look to avenge last year's loss against familiar conference foes in number 2 LSU, number 3 Florida, number 6 Georgia, and number 9 Arkansas. OU men's gymnastics won their conference championship for the 2nd year in a row Saturday, taking home 4 individual conference titles, led by freshman Nathan Roman recording a career-high score in his victory on parallel bars. Lyndon, Brent?
Thanks, Jamin. And a new record distance has been recorded, and the numbers are pretty out of this world.
OU Nightly has been following the Artemis II journey, and we'll have the space updates after the break.
Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, turn off the water while you brush your teeth. You'll save about 4 gallons per minute. That comes out to about 200 gallons a week for a family of 4. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman. Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here are some water conservation tips you can try. In the kitchen, collect the excess water you use to rinse produce and use it to water houseplants. Also, soak your pots and pans instead of letting the water run while you scrape them. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
I'm Alyssa Campbell at the OU Nightly Update Desk. The Cleveland County Sheriff's Office says they have confiscated over 900 pounds of illegally grown marijuana. Since October of 2024, they have made 103 arrests and seized 13 firearms. The task force continues their effort to shut down illegally marijuana growth operations across the country. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Alyssa. Well, McKinley, it's a long week ahead of us before we get to that severe weather coverage. Could we get a look at the 7-day forecast?
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to be looking at 70s pretty much for the next couple days. And then Friday is when we're really going to start seeing that severe weather kick off. We're going to see specifically Saturday and Sunday is going to be our highest chance for some severe weather. We do have a slight risk for those 2 days out right now, specifically Sunday affecting parts of the metro. So definitely enjoy that weather while you can before that severe storms hit.
Thanks, McKinley. Gonna definitely be looking out for that rain. And in our galaxy far, far away, the complete Artemis II mission is expected to break the 1970 Apollo 13 record by just over 4,000 miles.
The record has officially been broken this afternoon, surpassing 248,655 miles. This will mark the longest distance humans have ever traveled from Earth, ever before.
I almost wondered if I could put in a Pink Floyd joke there, but
we still have
time.
time.
Side of the moon.
Well, thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Lyndon Potter.
And I'm Bryn Mead. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.